Yo ho 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 to Soul King Kraz. We're back with another character guide for our lovely Warlords of the Sea. It's the dastardly usurper of the Alabasta Kingdom, the Sand Man, head of Baroque work, Sir Crocodile. Might take me a little longer than 3 minutes to show off how he can excel his limits, but unlike Luffy, we have much more time to see him in action. So let's take a quick look at how I like to play him first. For his special moves, I like to keep a majority of his options available in the air. However, if I wanted to really hammer in that aerial theme, I would pick Sobbles instead of Ground Death. But the reason why I like Ground Death on Crocodile is because the way I play him goes in between his ground state and his burst state. We'll be spending a bit of time in both instead of just primarily focusing your burst state. There's actually a good argument to be made for his ground game being useful in securing high kill counts, synergizing with your core 4, your hidden resolve, your hero strength, even concentration. I like concentration on him just because this allows you to really cycle through some of his higher damage options faster. Crocodile's moveset, for the most part, tends to focus more on area of effect than actual flat damage, which is why it's imperative to be wise with what kind of skills you pick. Now, I play Crocodile around the idea that he never has to stop comboing, so I prefer using faster skills that come out faster, so that Hidden Resolve will activate more often. In addition to that, it's also important to have high damage options, so Ground Death, I've noticed, is probably Crocodile's strongest ult. It covers the biggest range, it looks the coolest in my opinion, and it's not the literal third version of Sobbles in his moveset. He already has that Sand Tornado on both his ground and air moveset by default, so I figured there's no need to have it for a third time. It's a little overkill. Desert Vento, no cap, might be one of my absolute favorite damage special skills in this entire game. It's fast, it comes out fast, it hits hard with one clean burst of damage. It pulls enemies in for grouping purposes. It's so good. It's essential for Crocodile. Any character that has a move like this, I would say, is also essential, especially if they primarily excel in area of effect attacks. Variety attacks using sand. Useful. This guide is terrible. His variety attacks using sand. Well, yes, that's this whole thing, isn't it? But you're gonna tell us what a sand does. So, a variety of these moves have unique, odd effects that pertain to his weird Logia fruit. In the anime, he has an attack that allows him to drain people's quote-unquote life force. So in this game, it allows you to heal. I believe it is your aerial. Yep, the final hit on your aerial C2. I will say that the aerial C2 is probably one of your most efficient grouping options, so it's good to use, but if you want Cheat Death to be popping off at all times, you'll be wise to cancel out of that final hit, or else you will get healed and Cheat Death will become less effective. Crocodile's air game, like I was saying earlier, is primarily going to be used for grouping, and a lot of the damage is going to come out of your R1s, your special moveset. I'd say Airborne Adept is also a pretty essential skill for him. Power Overwhelming too. He does lack in armor damage. Shatter for the same reason. Hidden Resolve is going to be incredible on him. So let's just take a quick look at how his moves come out. His light string, 5 lights. It's this little like flourish. The 5th hit on actually has a pretty decent amount of knockback, but nothing too special. His light heavy on the ground is a little bit of burst damage and crowd control. I actually really like this move. I think his light heavy on the ground is essential in getting quick combo bursts going. So his light heavy is this little grouping trick that has a similar variation in the air. I don't love it too much on the ground. Doesn't do too much damage, doesn't do too much grouping. Looks cool. Useful for your grouping for your specials, I suppose. Your light, heavy on the ground. That is Sobbles on the ground. Sobbles on the rocks, that's right. Pretty good range. Really good crowd control. Solid damage. Love Sobbles. We'll be using that all the time. Light, heavy. Ground Pesado. This move is powerful as hell, but it also takes a while to come out. However, this into your ground death ult will be a very powerful synergy because they'll all be sent flying, and most targets hit by it will have their armor broken. And now we go into his light string in the air. Pretty similar to his grounded one. What's interesting about it is that the final hit keeps enemies grounded in their place that they started from. It doesn't knock them back from you, so this can be a useful grouping tool. Although, quite frankly, his light heavy is the best tool for that. There's the heal on it, just to show what it looks like. I don't really like the heal, so I like to use like either the first or second hit on it to group enemies up, and then dash cancel out of it. Maybe special cancel out of it if you prefer. Light, heavy is this little variation. Same as on the ground, but you can spam it out. I really like this in the air, especially in combo with Desert Vento. It's a good little mobility trick to use in the air without expending energy. Light, heavy. You know it. It's Sobbles Shaken. This is probably one of your best moves on Crocodile, is your aerial Sobbles. And then light heavy is probably one of your best damage options as Crocodile. It takes forever to come out, but the payoff is well worth it. Assuming you, like I said, you know, can manage it. Oh, look at this Mihawk coming at me at the same time, huh? This is a good opportunity to show off Crocodile's burst in action. What you'll notice right away is that all of your attacks will be putting enemies in a poison debuff while you're bursting. This will allow for you to spam out your light string very frequently. Normally, Crocodile's only means of poisoning foes is through Desert Vento. So this is a nice little force burst to be using often. But finally, Crocodile's greatest move, in my opinion. Simple, his charge attack. This thing will do insane damage. In the air, it is one of his fastest and best options for grouping. You can just use it to keep enemies slammed on the ground over and over again. It keeps you mobilized. Oh man, Whitebeard, buddy. So what you'll notice after getting a good understanding of how Crocodiles attacks group enemies, which ones don't group enemies, which ones have crowd control, like Desert Vento, as you've been noticing. While it does do a great deal of burst damage, it also does send enemies flying away from you. So you'll want to make sure it's the kill move most times in order for you to efficiently maintain a combo streak going. For whatever reason, the transport commander is not spawning in. There we go. One thing the Crocodile does struggle with is returning to the ground. He doesn't seem to have any specials that meteor him. He doesn't have anything in his base moveset that returns him to the ground fast, other than, ironically enough, his charge move. In the air, his C1 gets him to the ground the fastest. Nothing else gets him to the ground faster, not even Desert Vento. Everything else just kind of keeps him in the air a little too long for my liking. Even his aerial Sobbles ult doesn't actually ground him. It makes it close, but you have to get through an entire ult first in order for it to happen. But yeah, like I was saying, just using a good combination of Crocodile's grounded and aerial moves will allow for you to really excel and maintain a high kill count with him. Now, what's also good about his Force Burst is that it can, in fact, be activated in the air. So you don't have to use it like on the ground for it to have the most efficiency. You can actually use it in the middle of an aerial string combo to keep even an enemy with armor stuck in the animation. Oh man, you see that grouping? I sent while flying, and my aerial light heavy, my aerial C2 just brought him right back to me. It's so good. Love to see it. Come here, bird. Come here, pineapple head. So when you're wandering into a fight, I would say the wisest move would be to engage a large group of enemies with your move with your aerial moveset. Your ground moveset, it's not necessarily slower than your aerial game, but your aerial moveset will always have a larger area. And it'll be easier for you to start chipping away at armor from a distance with your aerial attacks. And then it'll be easier to deliver the killing blow on the ground, like I just did here. However, if there's no enemies with armor, then you really don't have to worry about engaging them at all. This is the nice thing about Crocodile. He's not really a very complicated character at the end of the day. He doesn't have any hidden mechanics beyond that minute layer of poison damage on his Force Burst. He's just a character about fundamentals and about experimenting with his moves, his special moves, in order to find the ones that you like the most. Realistically, I only prefer Desert Vento because I like the mobility it offers in the air. But to be honest, you could just use that slot to put Sables in to give you an aerial ult option, which I would completely understand, to be honest. I just prefer having mobility options on a character if I can. Especially since Crocodile's aerial moveset only has one real option for mobility. And it's at the end of a very long combo string. Sometimes I need that mobility a little faster. So let's put him in a proper speedrun, just to show off his potential. Oh, Water 7. Best map for Bounty Hunter, hands down. Now that we're close, now that we're far enough in the video that I'm less worried about casual One Piece fans being spoiled on anything. And yes, I'm about to spoil well past the end of Wano for Crocodile. So if you're not there yet, just mute the next 10 seconds of this. But now that we're at the section where Cross Guild has been formed and Crocodile is relevant again, I think it was wise for me to come out and do a little character guide for him and Mihawk. Mihawk will definitely end up being my next one with that in mind. And this is where the spoilers end. Isn't that nice? I like to have light spoilers, but I'll always make sure to warn you of them in advance. Come here, Kuzan. I'm also a fan of getting Crocodile out of Force Burst early if I've already engaged any threats. I like to get right back to the ground. Just get me right back on the ground where I can use Ground Death, where I can use his grounded C1. And yes, I can still use Sables. Look at that. Minute 30, I've gotten 1,000 kills. Love to see it. Crocodile just has this very efficient, savage means of grouping up enemies and keeping momentum even when in the air, which is honestly, keeping momentum in the air is really difficult for a lot of characters in this game. But he kind of excels at it. Oh yeah, we in there. I was saying earlier too his aerial C3 into Desert Veleno is literally the reason why I ended up using it in the first place. But if just look at that though, you can see just both the grouping potential there and the repositioning it allows you to do to set up for maybe like a cancel into an ult. I will say the only thing that is difficult about Crocodile is knowing how the canceling works in advance is very essential for him, or else a lot of your moves will just end in very awkward, slow animations, and it'll make you much more susceptible to taking more damage, losing out on combo opportunities, etc., right? Oh, Bardo's gonna keep you stun locked. Let's go. Let's go. Get a little bit of armor damage on him. Ooh. Okay then. Damn. Some piracy going on. Crocodile always gets robbed. Oh man. All right, let's go get some money. Into the water. Ooh, good timing. Come here, pedaled in. Get a little bit of a taunt flex on him, a little overkill. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on, Vista, not the time. Not the time for this. Ooh, that actually does more damage than I remember. Gee, Death hasn't even started really popping off yet. Maybe Desert Veleno is better than I remember. Let's go. See you, Jinbei. But yeah, excited for the next guide. This one was a blast to revisit. Crocodile's certainly not one of the best characters in this game, but he definitely performs quite favorably once you get used to how his clunkiness works. Once you can skate through it, get some relatively high kill counts quickly. Some impressive numbers from him for sure. Just earlier I was doing another bounty run. I ended up getting about, 7,100 kills in, I think it was 8 minutes. This guy can really tear it up if you're efficient. We'll see you on the next one.